In a world where the unexpected often becomes reality, a story emerged that left many scratching their heads in disbelief. Imagine this, a cat, yes, a feline, suing its owner for emotional distress. Sounds outrageous, doesn't it? But this bizarre case isn't just a figment of someone's imagination. It actually happened, and it's a wild tale worth exploring. Let's take a moment to consider this scenario. Can you picture a courtroom filled with attorneys, jurors, and a judge, all attempting to make sense of a cat's claims? It's an unusual scene, one that blurs the lines between the absurd and the possible. This case has sparked debates about animal rights, the legal system, and even the emotional capacities of our beloved pets. The story begins with an ordinary cat named Whiskers who lived with a seemingly typical owner, Sarah. To the outside world, their life appeared harmonious. Whiskers, a fluffy tabby with striking green eyes, was adored by Sarah, who often shared photos of her feline companion on social media. But beneath this facade of tranquility, a storm was brewing. Things took a shocking turn when Sarah decided to adopt a dog, a decision that would change everything. As soon as the new puppy, a rambunctious golden retriever named Max, entered the home, Whiskers felt his world turn upside down. Max, filled with youthful energy, was oblivious to the emotional turmoil he was causing. He would chase Whiskers around the house, steal her favorite sunbathing spots, and bark loudly at every little noise, creating an environment of constant chaos. Whiskers, who had once enjoyed a peaceful life of napping in sunbeams and lounging on windowsills, began to exhibit signs of distress. She stopped eating her favorite treats, lost interest in playing, and spent hours hiding under the bed. Sarah, noticing these changes, was initially puzzled. "What is happening to my sweet cat?" she thought. But instead of seeking help for Whiskers, Sarah continued to shower attention on Max, believing that the dog would eventually adapt and that Whiskers would come around. However, the situation only worsened. Whiskers became withdrawn and started to meow incessantly, seemingly expressing her frustration and sadness. One fateful day, Sarah took Whiskers to the veterinarian, hoping for an explanation. The vet, after conducting several tests, concluded that Whiskers was suffering from anxiety and emotional distress caused by the sudden upheaval in her environment. This revelation left Sarah shocked and guilty. Feeling a mix of responsibility and compassion, Sarah made efforts to improve the situation. She tried to create a peaceful space for Whiskers, ensuring that she had her own safe haven away from Max. But despite these efforts, Whiskers' anxiety persisted. As the weeks went by, Sarah's frustration grew. She felt torn between her love for Whiskers and her affection for Max. Then, in a moment of desperation, she turned to social media, sharing Whiskers' plight with her followers. Little did she know that this would set off a chain reaction that would lead to unprecedented legal action. A local animal rights organization caught wind of Sarah's posts and reached out to her. They were intrigued by Whiskers' story and offered to help. At first, Sarah was skeptical. Can a cat really sue? But the organization assured her that they believed Whiskers had a legitimate case for emotional distress. This is where things get even more unbelievable. With the help of the organization, they filed a lawsuit against Sarah, claiming that the emotional distress caused by Max's presence had led to Whiskers' anxiety and suffering. The case was framed as a landmark trial for animal rights, and it quickly gained media traction. As the trial approached, the courtroom buzzed with anticipation. The case was unprecedented, and animal rights activists rallied behind Whiskers, eager to see justice served. Imagine the scene: reporters lining the halls, cameras flashing, and curious onlookers filling the gallery. The opening statements were dramatic, with the attorney representing Whiskers passionately arguing that animals are sentient beings capable of experiencing complex emotions. They cited studies on animal behavior and emotional intelligence, asserting that Whiskers deserved recognition and compensation for her suffering. On the opposing side, Sarah's attorney argued that Whiskers was simply adjusting to a new environment, a common occurrence among pets. He contended that the lawsuit was absurd and that animals do not have the same legal standing as humans. "Can you believe this is happening?" he exclaimed, highlighting the absurdity of the situation. As the trial progressed, expert witnesses were called to testify. Veterinarians and animal behaviorists spoke about the psychological effects of stress on pets, emphasizing the importance of a stable environment. The tension in the courtroom was palpable. But perhaps the most gripping moment came when Sarah herself took the stand. With tears in her eyes, she recounted her love for Whiskers and her desperate attempts to help her. "I never meant for this to happen," she declared, her voice shaky. "I just wanted to give Max a home." The courtroom was silent, the weight of her words hanging in the air. It was a poignant reminder that love doesn't always translate into understanding. Ultimately, the jury had to grapple with a difficult question: should a cat have the right to claim emotional distress against its owner? The case ignited fierce debate, pitting traditional legal norms against the evolving understanding of animal rights. Weeks passed and the courtroom drama reached its climax with closing arguments. Whiskers' attorney urged the jury to consider the emotional trauma that Whiskers had experienced. "This is about more than just a cat and her owner," he proclaimed. It's about recognizing the emotional lives of animals. It's about setting a precedent for the future. On the other side, Sarah's attorney reminded the jury of the complexities of human-animal relationships. We cannot treat animals as if they are simply humans in fur coats, he insisted. If we allow this lawsuit to succeed, where will it end? Finally, the jury deliberated. Tension filled the air as everyone awaited the verdict. Would Whiskers get justice? Would this case change the landscape of animal rights forever? After what felt like an eternity, the jury returned. The foreman stood, cleared his throat, and delivered the verdict. Whiskers was awarded a symbolic sum in damages, acknowledging her emotional distress, but also recognizing the complicated nature of human-animal relationships. The courtroom erupted in mixed reactions. Some cheered for Whiskers, while others were outraged by the verdict. This case had opened a Pandora's box of questions about the rights of animals and the responsibilities of their owners. In the aftermath, the media frenzy continued. Whiskers became an unlikely celebrity, symbolizing the fight for animal rights. Sarah, on the other hand, faced a whirlwind of emotions. She had gained a deeper understanding of the bond between pets and their owners, and she vowed to do better by Whiskers. As for Whiskers, she slowly began to heal. With the help of her owner, the noisy puppy became less of a threat and more of a companion. Slowly but surely, Whiskers regained her confidence, spending time lounging in the sun and even playing with Max. This lawsuit may have seemed outrageous at first glance, but it sparked a conversation that many felt needed to happen. It challenged society to rethink how we view the emotional lives of animals and the responsibilities we have towards them. What would you do if you found yourself in Sarah's shoes? Would you recognize the emotional struggles of your pet? This case serves as a reminder that the love we share with our animals is profound, and their experiences matter too. In the end, the lawsuit of the cat who claimed emotional distress from its owner isn't just a quirky legal story. It's a reflection of our evolving understanding of the connections we share with our furry friends. As we continue to navigate these complex relationships, perhaps it's time we take a closer look at how we treat those who depend on us for their well-being. The world may be unpredictable, but one thing is certain. Whiskers' story will resonate for years to come, urging us all to consider the emotional lives of animals and the responsibilities we hold in their care.